Hey you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the southern part of California. I'm at the Westwood Cemetery out here in the greater Los Angeles area, and my buddy Adam was showing me around here. It's very, very fascinating graves. There's just an amazing amount of celebrities here. Very little known. As you can see, it's like just built like behind a bank. There's just buildings all around. But one thing that really stuck out to me is that there's two of the absolute largest female sex icons in America, possibly the world history, buried right here in this quaint little cemetery. Just, it's not very big. And first off, let's just take a look at this. We have the grave of Bettie Page, Queen of the Pinups, right there, often known as one of the four mothers of the bondage type imagery and films. I think one interesting thing about Bettie Page being that she actually disappeared for quite some time. She was in all these pinups. She disappeared, turned her back on that lifestyle. I think I had heard that she had actually become a street preacher at one point. Some filmmakers finally located her. She would not allow herself to be videoed or photographed at that time. I think you can find pictures of her, but she would not want you Googling her because she wanted to be remembered how she looked when she was young. She also, interviews, she said that she did not understand the bonded pictures at all. She thought they were completely absurd. She just kind of did what was asked of her, but became a legendary sexual icon in the process. But there, I don't want to downgrade Bettie Page at all, but another massive American sex icon is also buried in this cemetery. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, here is the grave of someone I feel that you are probably familiar with. That is the grave of Marilyn Monroe. And if I pull back here for a second, you can see that that grave is actually a different color than the rest of the graves, and there's a very good reason for that. Tradition dictates that people come and they leave kisses on Marilyn's grave. And I guess when they try to clean this off, kind of spreads the lipstick around, gives it that pink tone. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention right here we have Richard Poncher, apparently the man who gave us everything and more. But this man, apparently a fan of Marilyn Monroe, intentionally purchased this crypt right above her so that he could be buried near Marilyn Monroe. But being buried near her apparently was not enough, because I guess the legend goes, I don't know, I can't verify this 100%, but the legend is he was buried face down above Marilyn Monroe. I guess his life dream was to be buried face down, facing Marilyn Monroe. But he may not be living that dream for all of eternity. This grave right here belongs to one Hugh Hefner. And my understanding is, what Adam was just telling me, that Hugh Hefner has actually been in talks with the widow here of purchasing this grave so he can replace this man as the man buried face down above Marilyn Monroe.
A guy that has worked here since Marilyn was actually buried. He was here when he was buried. He was here when Richard Poncher was buried, and he can confirm that the body was actually turned on its back.
Okay, so that is legit.
The person who's worked here since 1986, he did an interview. You can find the interview online somewhere, and the body was spun around. So he confirmed that 100% that Richard Poncher is buried, in this tomb face down. So he's the luckiest man on earth, some would say, to be laying on top of Marilyn Monroe upside down.
So Adam, who would you be buried on top of? Or is that a loaded question?
That's a loaded question. Male or female? That's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, it's actually, I think there's probably a lot of people who are jealous of him because that is a pretty great idea.
Yeah.
To spend all eternity. I would rather have spent my real life
Face down on top
face
of
down
Marilyn Monroe.
on top of Marilyn Monroe than in death, but you take what you can get.
Tradition dictates I'm here at the grave of Marilyn Monroe, so there's only one thing left to do, and that is to give Marilyn a little kiss. Don't tell my wife. So, thank you, Marilyn. Appreciate you guys watching. www.thecarpetbagger.org. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Tell your friends. Appreciate it.